Hi, Cavalier football fans. I'm Dan Ramey. Welcome to another edition of Cavalier Coach's Corner.
Southern Ohio Monument Company believes remembering a loved one after they're gone can be as personalized as when they were here. With over 400 in-stock monuments to choose from, there are shapes and sizes to match nearly everyone's personality, helping your loved one make a lasting impression. Southern Ohio Monument Company on East Main Street in downtown Chillicothe. Open weekdays 8 to 5 and Saturdays 8 to 1. Southern Ohio Monument Company, proud sponsor of the Cavaliers.
Hi, I'm Angie with ATI Physical Therapy located in Chillicothe. If pain or injury prevent you from doing what you love, let ATI Physical Therapy get you back. Whether it's back to work or back to your play, ATI's energetic and motivating team is ready to help you begin your road to recovery. We will craft a personalized treatment plan incorporating the appropriate techniques for your condition. Stop by our Chillicothe location for a complimentary injury screening or visit atipt.com for a location near you.
Young's Family Market is family owned and operated. M.L. Young founded the grocery store in 1936, and now a second generation of Youngs, Brad, Susan, and their children now operate the business. To also serve the surrounding area, the Youngs opened a second location in Kingston, Ohio back in 2014, making shopping easy by offering everything you need, including beer and wine, all under one roof. No more running all over town making numerous stops to get everything on your list. Instead, visit our store and find it all. We offer fresh, high-quality products for affordable prices. It's the Young's Family Market, serving the Laurelville, Ohio community for more than 60 years.
Kingston National Bank was founded in 1909 by local businessmen. The concept of a local bank supporting our community's financial needs with local decisions made sense. This is Phil Evans, President and CEO of Kingston National Bank. I invite you to make KNB your bank. We continue to make local decisions that benefit our communities. Experience innovative products and excellent customer service. When you need us most, you can count on KNB. Our community, your bank. Kingston National Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing in Central Center can customize t-shirts, banners, posters, vinyl lettering for your car, truck, and they can embroider logos for your school or business. It's time to show your team's spirit. And from Adina to Zane Trace, Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing has all the team colors. And of course, your Chillicothe Cavalier blue and white. So stop on into the shop in Central Center and see for yourself. Or visit Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing online and place your order today.
Welcome back, Cavalier fans, to another edition of the Cavalier Coach's Corner. I'm Dan Ramey with Coach Doug Pryor, and we have guest coaches with us this evening. We'll introduce here in just a short moment. Coach, let's get right into the crux of things.
Sure.
Watkins Memorial.
Yes, sir.
Big up front, big running back, and he ran at you a lot.
With one tailback, 41 times to be exact, and it was definitely a physical contest. Very similar to the Taze Valley game, and we knew that coming in. I felt like as the game went on, we were a little bit worn down at times, defensively, and but the kids kept fighting. We got it to 19-7, and then 26-14, and like I said, very similar to week one, suffered a loss in week one, but the guys didn't quit. There was never any quit in our team, and that's just the silver lining that you can look forward to. And again, we always tell them, you don't lose, you learn. So we're definitely looking to rebound this week against Centennial.
Well, one of the toughest things for a team is to have a weather delay of some sort, and you went through one as well. And it's got to be tough to, especially if you're trailing at the time.
Sure.
It's tough. You want to make adjustments. You want to get the kids back into the game again, but it's got to be tough to pick their daughters up, so to speak.
Yeah, at the time, I didn't think there was anything. I know some of the guys were frustrated that, we did have the stoppage, and then, of course, it was such a quick stoppage. They've changed some rules this year to where if they see it leaving the area, outside of the 10-mile radius, somewhere around there, that you can, if you check with both administrators from both schools, you can get the contest rolling again, which was great to get back out there. At the time, you're not thinking of that. At the time, you're thinking of, all right, guys, here we go. We got our opportunity. We don't have to wait around for 30 minutes. Let's go. And I thought they picked it back up right away. From a spectator's position, standpoint, there was a couple people that mentioned to me, I think, the delay might have, hurt our momentum a little bit. We were on defense at the time, and the guys were flying around making plays, and that could have been. Maybe that could have been, but, you can't control that. That's out of your hands, and we always tell our guys, control what you can control. So,
what worked for you, and what do you need to work on?
I thought the passing game picked up a lot this week. I really did. Christian, he threw some great passes out there. Our receivers, we had Logan Snowden with our first receiving touchdown of the season. And just really getting more confident with our passing game. That's going to open up a lot going into this week, turn us into a more balanced offense. Obviously against, Mifflin a couple weeks ago, Chucky Thomas had a lot of carries. Everybody who was on offense, we were more of a power running game that week, and power running team. And, this week I felt like we were able to become more balanced, and that's what we're looking to do as the season progresses. And so that was something that we feel like we're going to build on that. And then as far as our run game, we thought it was pretty solid. There were some times in some short yardage situations which, I think some of our guys got a little confused in the backfield, and we're looking to improve on that. So that's been a big focus for us, as we start the practice week, and we're just trying to shore up those situations.
And a lot of times, if you fall behind by a couple scores, the passing game becomes more dominant. You have to try and get those bulk yards.
Right, exactly. I mean, it was a situation where we tried to mix it in early, when the game was still, 0-0 and 6-0. We tried to become very balanced because we knew going into this contest that we would have to be balanced to have a shot. And so, again, that was a big focus last week. It's a big focus this week. And obviously as time runs down, your hurry up offense comes into effect, and again, you end up definitely passing it more than running it in that situation.
Yeah. Again, the final 26-14, Watkins Memorial comes out on top. We've got assistant coaches with us tonight. We have Eddie Johnson, who's still with the program. Thank you for staying with the Cavaliers. And we also have Frank Little, who is new to the program as well, but not new to this guy, are you?
No, I coached him at Denison University a few years ago, and then we coached together on the Denison staff for 5 years. Yep. So very familiar with him, and when he got the head coaching job, we started having the conversations and try to make it work out, and it's been awesome. So I'm glad I'm here with him. So.
Now we want to talk more about the line with you here in just a moment, about the offensive line, which is your primary position. Eddie, where are you coaching now? You've been across the board over the last 5 years.
Right. So I used to coach the offensive line, defensive line. I made the move to wide receivers and outside linebackers.
Yeah. So tell me what this has been like for you, especially as I heard the guys on the radio talking about our two linebackers were combined the same size as the tailback for Watkins Memorial.
Right. Yeah, so it's a big change up for me because I'm used to messing with those guys that are big and ugly, I guess, up front. And now I'm with the skilled guys. And, it's can't yell at them as much as you would an offensive lineman. You just got to talk to them and get them where they got to go. And, it's been a fun experience.
Yeah, a little different. You have heard the Hinton voice for all of your life.
Right.
So how has it been with the change here?
It's been fun. I don't get yelled out as much as I used to. Because even when I first came down here, I think Coach yelled at me sometimes more he did the players. So I don't get yelled at as much, so I love it. But Coach Pryor's doing a great job, great motivator. Let's just go after win number 2 now.
You're too kind, Coach.
Yeah.
Frank, tell us a little bit about what this guy was like as a player.
Well, if I can remember, that's been a while ago. But no, he came to Denison. We had him on the defensive line, and we moved him. I think 2 years in his career, and he started the last 2 years at offensive tackle. And he was already athletic, being a defensive lineman, and he never had to worry about his effort and his being prepared to play. That was a given. So he played hard. Was tough, had a little bit of edge to him at times, but he always did his job, did it well.
Now, I've got to ask because all too often I've seen, especially high school players, they mature physically after high school.
Yeah.
And was Coach this playing weight when he was playing for you?
Not quite.
Could he have been more effective at this weight?
I don't think so. And I think we're both past our playing weight. So.
I'm with you on that too. Offensive line, you have taken that position, and you've got a lot of different numbers coming in and out on that line. If anything, you're getting a lot of experience across the board.
Yeah, I think only one senior plays, two sophomores and 3 juniors are now playing pretty regularly, so they're pretty young. When Pat's a senior who plays all the time on D-line, so we're trying to get him more rest on the offense. So a lot of times the 5 guys up front, there's no seniors, so it's going to be the same guys for next year, and that's a great thing. So they're getting all their game experience right now, and they're playing hard and playing pretty good so far for me. So for us, I may say me. But.
Who's standing out that you have seen? Because I first met you when you had camp. How much improvement have you seen over this group?
Oh, tremendous. I think being new, I think I had to earn their trust first. And there was a couple instances that happened. I think I did earn their trust. And from then on, it's been going great. I knew with Ray Byers and Drew Seymour and Pat Work, those guys have played a lot in the past, and I knew they were good players. The question mark was the right side with Keyshawn Shepard and Brendan Mankin, and man, they've far exceeded expectations so far. Especially Keyshawn Shepard. I think he's had probably 17 pancake. We keep track of pancake blocks, and he's by far the leader. He's just been playing really well. And then, luckily, another young kid has got a chance to play here lately, Dalton Foraker, which is able to rest Pat more on offense, and he's coming along too. So those 3 guys have been pleasant surprises, the young ones.
And we talked with Keyshawn and also Dalton this past week. So if you'd like to see that interview, you can always go to CircleVilleTV.com, see it on demand. It's right there available for you to review. Eddie, talk about the linebackers. What have you seen as far as growth out of them, maturity?
So Cortland Duncan is like one of our few returning starters, and Coach Adams has done a great job with them. I'm not taking any credit for that one. Coach, all I got to do is say, hey, you're doing a great job for what Coach Adams has done the past 3 years with them. And Cortland, actually, in my opinion, probably last week was probably one of his better games he's had against Watkins. And then we started out with Trevor Lee week 1, and he got banged up a little bit against Tays Valley, so Carter Boltonhouse, which is a freshman, stepped in and has done a great job. Some of the coaches sometimes give me a hard time because I yell Boltonhouse almost all practice. And but no, he's probably, that's the first freshman I've ever coached playing on Friday nights. So it's been really cool to see him grow each week, and it's kind of the deer in the headlights looks starting to go away now, and he's almost like a sophomore now. I mean, he's playing well and flowing to the football, being strong. I mean, it's fun to see him grow.
Yeah. Good to see another Boltonhouse back here.
Right,
Christian
yeah.
Boltonhouse playing a couple of years ago for the Cavaliers. Coach, as he brings up a freshman playing on Friday night, not the only freshman you've had playing Friday nights, but we've got 3 that we'll be meeting this evening that have stood out on the scout team for you.
Oh, definitely. We have, obviously, Trevor Banks. He's an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, and he's really, anytime you need somebody to jump in there, I mean, he doesn't come out of scout at all. Trenton Rose has really stepped up. in the last couple weeks at the running back position. It's not an ideal position running scout team running back against the first team defense, and getting slammed by people like Cade Williams and Patrick Rourke, and just the list goes on, right? And Michael Hicks, another freshman who has been huge as far as with the skill positions, wide receiver, cornerback. I mean, he even stepped in one time at inside linebacker when we needed that spot filled, and just brings a lot of energy and tenacity from those positions. So always great. You'll meet another young man that was big on the scout team last week, but he's probably going to get, he's definitely going to get some looks at H-back, maybe even some at running back as well. As Brandon Williams, a sophomore. The other three were freshmen, as you mentioned, but Brandon Williams is here, and somebody who's really, we've just tried to groom him and get him ready for Friday Night Lights. And, we think he's ready at this point, so we're looking forward to how his season progresses.
Sometimes it's okay to knock the bark off of them early so that they grow back stronger, right?
Right. Definitely, we've got a lot of people that were, thrown into the fire, like coaches, playing defensive line as a freshman. I mean, you're 14 years old, and sometimes you're going to get 17, 18-year-old tackles. And, Carton Boltonhouse, he handled himself well against a big, 6'4", 6'5", 290 coach. Maybe I'm even kind of being lenient on the weight, 290, and that could move with a bad attitude, and you're wondering, this guy looks like he should be playing Saturdays right now. So, and I'm telling you, Carter at times gave that kid fits and played well. And again, like I said, it was a very physical game. I don't want to be negative towards our team. Coach Johnson said, I'm a motivator. I'm never going to be negative with the team. But when you look at you try to pull those positives, as you said earlier, what can you learn from? What can you build on? And I tell you what, on that edge, that was definitely a spot to just there's some room for improvement with everybody involved. That's coaches, that's players, but that is something to be excited about. And obviously, Coach mentioned Cortland Duncan there at that buck linebacker spot. Played very, very physically. Went up against a big tight end the whole game, and played his tail off and ran up and made some big smacks, whether it be covering people, whether it be running up and tackling their big old tailback. I mean, we challenged him, and he stepped up to the challenge, and that's what we need out of our seniors. So we're very excited about that.
Talked a lot about the freshman and a sophomore here tonight. They make up pretty much the core of your JV team. Tell us about the JV game from the weekend.
So this past weekend, we actually had JVs had a weekend off.
Okay.
And so we didn't actually have a junior varsity game this past weekend. And so our next game will actually be against Logan. When we play, after we play the Thursday Night Lights game, we'll play them on that Saturday. So we've had to move some things around. It's been, you feel bad because you want these young guys to get out there and get reps. A lot of them are getting reps, during the week, but obviously there's nothing like the game reps.
Right.
And so that's our situation right now. But our middle school, they both won last week. They both actually, ironically, played Logan last week and defeated Logan last week. And then even our future Cavs, the 3rd and 4th grade team and the 5th and 6th grade team both picked up victories, and they were out at Fayetteville this past weekend. So that was really, really, really great for the program, just the future of the program. So
Yeah, feeling success early, and hopefully that'll lead to success down the road for them.
Definitely. And also another thing, as we talked about with our passing game, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that. Why was our passing game stepped up a notch? It was the offensive line. Coach Little talked about the young guys we had on the right side playing primarily with, Brendan Mankin, Keyshawn Shepard, and then Dalton Foraker stepping up this week, huge. Limiting, Patrick, I think, had his least reps all season on offense, was able to really turn up a notch on defense to where he knows, level that he can play at because he's not having to go both ways so much. And, Ray Byers had a huge game. But their protection of Christian in the pocket, I mean, as you look at the film, you don't see Christian scrambling for his life out there at all. And Watkins is a team that they like to bring a lot of pressure and things, but I think because of they knew how well we would pick up the blitzes from watching previous film, I don't feel like they really brought that much. or anything kind of, crazy outside of the box at us. But when they did bring the heat, or when they did have what seemed like a good rush, I mean, we picked it up very, very well. So that's a credit to the O-line. That's a credit to, Coach Little and Coach Cams, Coach Jones. They work with the offensive line through the week and doing a great job.
Well, as you can see, we continue to make improvements along the way, which is always good. And of course, we've got another game to take care of too. It's the Centennial Stars. They'll be coming here to Chillicothe Friday night. We'll talk about that a little bit further in depth in just a matter of moments. We'll also talk with these two coaches again here just a bit on another segment. And we've got players to meet again this evening, all coming up on the Cavalier Coaches Corner.
Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing in Central Center can customize T-shirts, banners, posters, vinyl lettering for your car or truck, and they can embroider logos for your school or business. It's time to show your team's spirit. And from Adina to Zane Trace, Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing has all the team colors. And of course, your Chillicothe Cavalier blue and white. So stop on into the shop in Central Center and see for yourself. Or visit Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing online and place your order today. Southern Ohio Monument Company believes remembering a loved one after they're gone can be as personalized as when they were here. With over 400 in-stock monuments to choose from, there are shapes and sizes to match nearly everyone's personality, helping your loved one make a lasting impression. Southern Ohio Monument Company on East Main Street in downtown Chillicothe. Open weekdays 8 to 5 and Saturdays 8 to 1. Southern Ohio Monument Company, proud sponsor of the Cavaliers.
Hi, I'm Angie with ATI Physical Therapy located in Chillicothe. If pain or injury prevent you from doing what you love, let ATI Physical Therapy get you back. Whether it's back to work or back to your play, ATI's energetic and motivating team is ready to help you begin your road to recovery. We will craft a personalized treatment plan incorporating the appropriate techniques for your condition. Stop by our Chillicothe location for a complimentary injury screening or visit atipt.com for a location near you.
Young's Family Market is family owned and operated. M.L. Young founded the grocery store in 1936, and now a second generation of Youngs, Brad, Susan, and their children now operate the business. To also serve the surrounding area, the Youngs opened a second location in Kingston, Ohio back in 2014, making shopping easy by offering everything you need, including beer and wine, all under one roof. No more running all over town making numerous stops to get everything on your list. Instead, visit our store and find it all. We offer fresh, high-quality products for affordable prices. It's the Young's Family Market, serving the Laurelville, Ohio community for more than 60 years.
Kingston National Bank was founded in 1909 by local businessmen. The concept of a local bank supporting our community's financial needs with local decisions made sense. This is Phil Evans, President and CEO of Kingston National Bank. I invite you to make KNB your bank. We continue to make local decisions that benefit our communities. Experience innovative products and excellent customer service. When you need us most, you can count on KNB. Our community, your bank. Kingston National Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Now, as promised, we want to get a little more in-depth with these two fellas. We've got Eddie Johnson with us and Frank Little again. Frank's the new kid on the block, so to speak, without being in a boy band. But let's find out more about you. Did you start at Denison, or did you start coaching elsewhere?
When I got done playing, I coached 8th grade for a couple of years, and I was at Big Walnut High School for 4 years in the early 90s, and then a year at Urbana University, and then I went on to Denison, was there over 20-something years. A couple years as the D-line coach, but the rest is O-line, offensive line, so mainly offensive line for 20-something years.
After working with college kids for that long, what's the transition like going back to the younger guys?
Probably getting them to understand zone concepts and having a particular area instead of a particular guy. And but once you do that, they picked it up pretty well. And just that those guys are 20 and these guys are 17. They're all football players. So.
But as we mentioned, some are 14.
Yeah.
And so that mind is still developing.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. It's a freshman. They they just need to. What I like about this group, and there's a lot of them in the freshman class, and that's a good thing, is they come to everything. I've seen they came lifting every time in the summer. They've not missed practices. They do anything you ask them to do. So that makes you feel good as the future goes on. Because you never know with linemen, because especially at this age, they develop differently. And one day the light bulb goes on, and he's not the same person he was a year ago, and all of a sudden you got a player on your hands that you didn't see coming. Mm-hmm. And that's always a nice surprise when you weren't expecting the kid to develop as quick as some do. And some it takes later. You just got to be patient with them. Yeah. And someday the light bulb goes on, and then they're ready to roll.
As we mentioned, he's the new blood on the staff this year, and you've got some other assistants helping you out as well, right?
Yep. Chris Camps and Jason Jones. Chris is a young guy, very knowledgeable and willing to do anything I ask him to do, and so does Coach Jones. They're great about correcting technique during drills, seeing things. Sometimes I don't see stuff. I'm more of a film guy, but they see stuff on the film or the field that they correct right then. So they're really good about that.
And Coach Camps is also a guidance counselor, so he can guide them as well.
Yeah, we don't want them to talk too much about feelings with them. They are our linemen.
Sensitive fellows, right?
Yeah.
Eddie, how has Frank filled in joining this staff?
Oh, he's done a phenomenal job. I tell him every week, I said, because I've coached the O-line the past 3 years, I said, the pass blocking is awesome. I mean, he's done a great job with it. I mean, I'm glad he took it over because I could not do the job he's doing. And like I said, because we graduated everybody last year up front, and then pretty much had 5 positions to fill. And no, he's done a great job. I'm glad he's with us.
Now, of course, you are still teaching at the middle school level?
Yeah, still teach 8th grade math.
Okay, and he's also been known to be the interim cheerleading advisor. Have you gotten to do that this year?
No, I don't. I told Coach Arledge, I said I got to take a year break from it. I'm coaching JV football now. Last year I didn't have to coach JV. This year I'm the offensive coordinator, so I go coach that. I don't have time to coach the cheerleading team this year.
Now, there was a moment he needed to fill in the gap, so to speak. Right. I think there was you were like the administrator on duty.
Yeah.
In that kind of situation there. Talk about how this team has started to gel together, or has it started gelling together? Yes.
Each week we are getting better. Eventually it's just going to be, we're going to be like a train just going. I mean, like we said, we only brought like five kids back from the team last year. So you got a lot of kids that are playing varsity reps for the first time, and it's going to take a couple games. And it's not, JV to varsity is a big step. And the kids, I think, we're starting to hit our stride, and I'm excited to see what happens Friday night against Centennial, because I thought the past 2 days have been very crisp. I mean, up front wise, I think we're dominating offensively, and then defensively, we just got to stay gap sound. And like I said, I think we're going to hit our stride Friday night, and then going into league play, we'll be all right.
I know we'll talk more in depth about Centennial with Coach Pryor, but what have you seen so far that Centennial presents as challenges for us?
They like to keep a lot of guys in the box. They like to, a lot of teams you can get them out with your formations and they'll only keep 6 players in the box, but they like to crowd the line of scrimmage, keep 8 guys in there. So, it might be tough at first, to get, there's always going to be a free hat in the hole somewhere. We're going to try to stretch them a little bit, but we have some things that we believe in to hit the B gap that we always will have every week, but just to get those guys out of the box with your formations, whether that's not having an H back in the formation or spreading them out a little bit, to force those guys to get out of there, because it's funny because I'm no line coach and I love running the ball, but I like to run it out of the spread because you get those extra defenders out of there, so you have a chance. It's a lot easier to block 6 on 5 or 5 on 5 than 5 on 7 or whatever the numbers are.
So I'm guessing you've been banging the drum, so to speak, about protection of the quarterback this week.
Yeah, you always have to have that as an offensive lineman, pride in protecting the quarterback. You always say, they're your mama. You got to protect mama back there. So, and they've done a pretty good job so far. I think it's just the want to, the taking pride in it. As you know, all linemen want to run the ball, but you got to take equal pride in pass pro, and giving that QB time to find receivers, and you have to be disciplined too. I think they were talking about bringing a lot of people. We have a system, you got to stay is picking up blitzes. If you stay disciplined, have your eyes up, it's easy. If you don't, then it becomes tough. And then the backs help in that too. We always credit the offensive line with the pass protection, but everybody's involved in that. The backs picking up the extra blitzes, the quarterback getting rid of the ball, the receivers getting open. I mean, it's just not the O-line with passes. That's everybody's involved. So quicker they get the ball out of their hands, the less time you have to protect for the quarterbacks. But that was a really good job last week, especially by our running back, Chucky Thomas. He did a really good job of picking up some blitzes, so helping us out.
Very key, no question there.
Yeah.
And what about their offense? Speaking of the Stars, I got a feeling they're going to bring some athletes.
Yes, they are very athletic. They've got several running backs because I think it's 2 or 3 different guys up on the backfield. One of them's a bruiser. He'll run in between the tackles, and he's not going to try to juke. He's going to run right over you. And then they've got 2 guys that are more of outside zone guys, and definitely all 3 of them, if they get the ball, they're electric. They can make people miss, and they as long as we are gap sound, like Coach Adams' defense is gap sound. It's just like Coach Arnes. And if we're gap sound, we shock and lock, and we've got a gang tackle. Pursue is what we've been preaching all week. Wrap up and drive. And then the real question mark is number 12 back for him, their quarterback. Week 1, he went down. We were told it was a broken arm, but we've been hearing through the grapevine that it's probably not that. So we're looking for him to be starting Friday night against us, which 12 is probably going to be the best quarterback we'll see all year. He can sling the football. He's only a junior. It's his 3rd year starting. So he brings an extra element to the game. But once again, it's simple. It's gap sound football and pursue the football. I mean, if we can do those 2 things, we're going to be in a good position Friday night.
Yeah. Control what you can control.
Yeah.
And see what happens. All right, guys, thank you so much, Frank Little and also Eddie Johnson. We're back with the players in just a moment on the Cavalier Coaches Corner.
Southern Ohio Monument Company believes remembering a loved one after they're gone can be as personalized as when they were here. With over 400 in-stock monuments to choose from, there are shapes and sizes to match nearly everyone's personality, helping your loved one make a lasting impression. Southern Ohio Monument Company on East Main Street in downtown Chillicothe. Open weekdays 8 to 5 and Saturdays 8 to 1. Southern Ohio Monument Company, proud sponsor of the Cavaliers.
Hi, I'm Angie with ATI Physical Therapy located in Chillicothe. If pain or injury prevent you from doing what you love, let ATI Physical Therapy get you back. Whether it's back to work or back to your play, ATI's energetic and motivating team is ready to help you begin your road to recovery. We will craft a personalized treatment plan incorporating the appropriate techniques for your condition. Stop by our Chillicothe location for a complimentary injury screening or visit atipt.com for a location near you.
Young's Family Market is family owned and operated. M.L. Young founded the grocery store in 1936, and now a 2nd generation of Youngs, Brad, Susan, and their children now operate the business. To also serve the surrounding area, the Youngs opened a 2nd location in Kingston, Ohio back in 2014, making shopping easy by offering everything you need, including beer and wine, all under one roof. No more running all over town making numerous stops to get everything on your list. Instead, visit our store and find it all. We offer fresh, high-quality products for affordable prices. It's the Young's Family Market, serving the Laurelville, Ohio community for more than 60 years.
Kingston National Bank was founded in 1909 by local businessmen. The concept of a local bank supporting our community's financial needs with local decisions made sense. This is Phil Evans, President and CEO of Kingston National Bank. I invite you to make KNB your bank. We continue to make local decisions that benefit our communities. Experience innovative products and excellent customer service. When you need us most, you can count on KNB. Our community, your bank. Kingston National Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing in Central Center can customize t-shirts, banners, posters, vinyl lettering for your car or truck, and they can embroider logos for your school or business. It's time to show your team's spirit. And from Adina to St. Trace, Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing has all the team colors. And of course, your Chillicothe Cavalier blue and white. So stop on into the shop in Central Center and see for yourself. Or visit Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing online and place your order today.
Welcome back to the Cavalier Coach's Corner. I'm Dan Ramey, and look at this. We've got 6 Cavaliers for you this evening. We have 3 freshmen for the first time, also a sophomore, a junior, and a senior making a return appearance here tonight. So, guys, let's start to my right. Tell everybody who you are and what position you play.
My name is Trevor Banks, and I play offense and defensive line.
My name is Michael Hicks. I play receiver and corner.
I'm Cade Williams. I play linebacker and running back.
My name is Trenton Rose. I play running back and safety.
My name is Brandon Williams. I play running back.
My name is Logan Snowden. I'm a wide receiver and a DB.
And we're going to start with Logan here because, Logan, we want to give you the opportunity. You've been out there on Friday night every game this year so far. What has this experience been like for you? Because did you get into some of the games last year?
No, I was hurt all of last year.
Okay, so what's Friday night like for you for the first time?
It's crazy. It's nothing like I imagined. Like, it's so much faster and crazy. It's so much different than Saturdays. It's crazy. Like, it's so much fun.
Now let's talk about last Friday night. I know it was a loss, but you had a big touchdown reception. What was it like to score?
It was fun. It was my first touchdown since freshman year, so it was fun to get out there and score and help the team out.
Did you do anything fancy?
No, didn't do anything fancy now.
Just jumped and screamed a little bit.
Yeah.
Certainly. And Brandon, I got to imagine you guys out on the sideline, you see something like that happen, that gets you guys jacked up, doesn't it?
We get hyped out there.
Yeah. Now you're an H-back, running back, you play some defense as well. Coach has already alluded you might see some more playing time at H-back. Does that get your juices flowing?
My heart drops. It's just a new experience for me. I'm so young and just like this with this opportunity, it's amazing.
Yeah, just a sophomore as well. And look how big he is now. He's going to grow, so that's good news. Trenton, let's talk about what you have been up to. You guys are primarily on the sideline on a Friday night, but I imagine you get some special teams play and certainly a lot of scout team play.
Yeah, I play scout team most of the games, or not most games, most practices I play scout team, and I play a lot of scout team.
And otherwise, you just kind of wait and see if your name gets called, right?
Yeah, I got called one Friday and my heart dropped, and I was like, okay, I got to go out in the field and I ran the ball once, and it was really fun.
Yeah. Now I want to come back to Cade because he's the seasoned veteran here. So let's continue with our freshman here. Mr. Hicks, tell us what your experience has been like so far.
I mean, it being my first year of high school football, it's a lot, but it's real fun. I didn't think that I'd be like starting JV as a freshman. I figured they'd have a bunch of other people up there, but it's been a great experience.
Yeah, and you guys, Trevor, you're just playing 8th grade last year, and now you're mixing up with the big guys. Talk about what it's like to play the big dogs.
Well, I play a lot of scout O and D, so I have to go against all of our big offense and defensive linemen. It's pretty hard sometimes.
Who's the toughest you've gone up against?
Probably Patrick Rourke.
Yeah, quick answer, huh? Cade Williams, of course, one of the team captains we met the first week of the season. Talk about this young group that's with you here, because I mean, you're the senior and everything, and some of these freshmen, they probably have been punished by you, running the ball, tackling, and everything too.
Yeah. I mean, Trenton, he does a lot of scout-o, and so was Brandon before he got, he's going to get varsity probably this week. I would always be at linebacker, and I'd always just smack them. I mean, but I think I got them ready. I'm getting them ready to get some varsity reps because they're going against a varsity linebacker. And also with Trevor Banks, he smacks me a couple times when he has a couple plays, D lineman, get to the line. Michael Hicks, our receiver, he has a lot of catches. And DB locking up some of our varsity receivers sometimes. Yeah. So really improving and going to help him out next year.
Yeah, that's knocking you here. That's the next year calling. You're a senior, doggone it. You've got a handful of games left. And what advice would you give to these younger guys? It's gone by pretty quick, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, make the most out of it. This is my first year playing varsity, and I never saw it going this way. I mean, I had 24 tackles last week. I just wanted to go out there and maybe even make 3 tackles or something like that, and just make the most of it because it's going by real fast. Yeah.
Now, some of these young guys are with us because they are award winners, and let me read to you a little bit about these guys. For Cade, he was the defensive MVP against Watkins Memorial this past week. Logan was the offensive MVP against Watkins Memorial. Brandon Williams was the scout team MVP on defense. Also, D Scout MVP for week 1 was Trevor Banks. Michael Hicks was the scout team MVP on offense for week number 2. And also Trenton Rose, the offensive scout MVP for this week. So what's it take to become the most valuable player on scout? I mean, that's Rudy time right there. Are you guys old enough to know who Rudy is?
Yeah.
He's playing Kentucky Fried Chicken now. He's the colonel. What's it take I mean, you guys, you get beat up every practice, but you come back.
Yeah, you have to go out there and you just have to keep going. Sometimes, since we're just scout team, it's we get yelled at sometimes for messing up, but you just have to keep going out there and do your hardest.
Is it tougher being in the trenches than being on the outside, like Michael gets to enjoy?
I don't know. Them varsity corners really bang you up a bit out there.
Yeah. And Trenton, what's it like for you?
Well, some of these practices are really painful. Sometimes you just got to get out and take a break for a second and get a drink of water. But recently, it's you hit those holes and you get hit by our defensive backs. It messes you up sometimes.
Yeah. And Brandon, you guys go through all this physical challenge every day, and then you got to also remember to keep up with your studies and stuff too. That's got to be a pretty tall task.
It's hard sometimes. I get off track a lot, but I can bounce back from it. I mean, football, I love football, but sometimes I mess up with school sometimes. But I can bounce back from it. Yeah.
Sure. Logan, this is certainly, football is what you love to do. There's no question there. But do you have other plans for other sports for later in the year?
I might run out for track during the spring. That's probably about it. I don't really like doing basketball or baseball like that, but I think track will be good for football next year. Get ready for football.
It's got that track build.
Yeah.
Distance runner or long jumper?
We'll see what Coach Strong puts me at. If I go out, I don't know what I'd be.
Okay.
So we'll see.
We'll cross our fingers on that.
Yeah.
Brandon, what about you?
Baseball, and I was thinking about doing track this year and thinking about doing basketball still, but I don't know yet. I'm definitely doing baseball.
Yeah. Trenton?
Well, I throw in track, and I don't know yet about winter, but we'll see what happens.
You throw in track?
Yeah.
You're not a big guy.
Well, I throw discus, and I was the farthest thrower last year for shot put. So.
Yeah. Now the cool thing about this is we go back to Chad McAllister's days. Chad was, he wasn't real heavy. He played offensive line, but he was a state champion, and that's pretty cool. He's in the Hall of Fame too. So, Cade, what are your plans?
For winter, I plan on wrestling this year. So I came out like midway last year, and I really enjoyed it. And then I'm thinking about running track as my senior year, and just go out and run some races with my friends. So.
Yeah, last shot.
Yep.
Michael, what about you?
Well, normally I run track in the spring, but I'm thinking about taking an off season after that because I do wrestling in the winter. So I was pretty banged up after football, jumping into wrestling, and then right into track after that.
Yeah. At what weight class?
Last year I wrestled like 104. I'm thinking 120 this year.
Okay. And that's a pretty challenging position. I don't care what your weight class is, because you're mano a mano with matched up with a guy that might be 125.
Yeah.
And we see these guys go out on the mat. Watch out. What are your plans?
I also wrestle.
Yeah.
That's it. Just wrestle and football.
Just wrestle, football?
I did track last year, but I don't think I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Shot put and discus.
Yeah. Now here's a thrower. You got a thrower body. You can do that. And it's about the legs, right? And the extension on the arms and all. So I got to ask what you like to do outside of football.
I usually just go home, eat, shower, and usually just hang out at my house unless I find other plans, which usually I just go home and watch Friends on Netflix. That's about it.
90s shows,
Yeah, that's my favorite show.
Brandon, what do you like to do?
Hang out with the boys most of the time.
Yeah.
If I'm in school, I'm hanging out with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Yeah, no, out of school, I kind of just relax and homework and stuff like that, so there's not really much action.
Well, usually I try to hang out with some of my senior buddies and some of my friends that played football last year, as gonna miss them because a lot of them are going to college or going into the Air Force and stuff like that, and trying to get some memories made with them, and then probably just going home and hang out with family as well. So.
Yeah, Colin Lindsay is one of those heading off to the Air Force, so we wish Colin well and thank you for service to the country. Michael, what do you like to do?
Well, most of my family, like my sisters and my little brother, they all do sports as well, so a lot of my free time is wrapped around sports. So if I'm not doing something, I'm normally out helping them work on stuff, or I'm out watching their games.
Yeah, out with them screaming and yelling.
Yep.
Yeah. Encouraging, I should say. Yeah. And what do you like to do?
I hang out with my friends quite a bit.
Yeah.
And if I'm not doing that, I'm probably playing video games.
Got a favorite video game?
Rust. It's a computer game.
Ah, computer. Ooh. Now that takes a lot of thinking, right? Now, as we learned from the guys last week, they like to just hang out together. You guys pretty much a close-knit group? Or do the years of seniority separate you in some fashion?
Me, Cade, and most of the upperclassmen usually hang out a lot. We go out to eat together, and we just kind of hang out for team bonding so we can stay close and make sure we're sharp on Friday nights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's basically, if we're not at home or something like that, doing something, we're usually probably together. So that's basically what we do.
And I imagine freshman and sophomore, you guys just get beat on all the time. Is that it?
I like it though. It makes me tougher.
Yeah, and I tell you, all the years I've watched the Cavaliers, watching those guys that pay their dues, freshmen and sophomores, Friday night comes around, next thing you know, the lights go on and they are the stars. So guys, good luck to you. You're here for a reason, and keep it up, all right? Thanks for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
We'll continue in just a moment, talk about the Centennial Stars with Coach Doug Pryor, and Cavalier Tom makes an appearance as well. Coming up.
Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing in Central Center can customize t-shirts, banners, posters, vinyl lettering for your car, truck, and they can embroider logos for your school or business. It's time to show your team's spirit. And from Medina to St. Trace, Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing has all the team colors. And of course, your Chillicothe Cavalier blue and white. So stop on into the shop in Central Center and see for yourself. Or visit Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing online and place your order today. Southern Ohio Monument Company believes remembering a loved one after they're gone can be as personalized as when they were here. With over 400 in-stock monuments to choose from, there are shapes and sizes to match nearly everyone's personality, helping your loved one make a lasting impression. Southern Ohio Monument Company on East Main Street in downtown Chillicothe. Open weekdays 8 to 5 and Saturdays 8 to 1. Southern Ohio Monument Company, proud sponsor of the Cavaliers.
Hi, I'm Angie with ATI Physical Therapy located in Chillicothe. If pain or injury prevent you from doing what you love, let ATI Physical Therapy get you back. Whether it's back to work or back to your play, ATI's energetic and motivating team is ready to help you begin your road to recovery. We will craft a personalized treatment plan incorporating the appropriate techniques for your condition. Stop by our Chillicothe location for a complimentary injury screening or visit atipt.com for a location near you.
Young's Family Market is family owned and operated. M.L. Young founded the grocery store in 1936, and now a second generation of Youngs, Brad, Susan, and their children now operate the business. To also serve the surrounding area, the Youngs opened a second location in Kingston, Ohio back in 2014, making shopping easy by offering everything you need, including beer and wine, all under one roof. No more running all over town making numerous stops to get everything on your list. Instead, visit our store and find it all. We offer fresh, high-quality products for affordable prices. It's the Young's Family Market, serving the Laurelville, Ohio community for more than 60 years.
Kingston National Bank was founded in 1909 by local businessmen. The concept of a local bank supporting our community's financial needs with local decisions made sense. This is Phil Evans, President and CEO of Kingston National Bank. I invite you to make KNB your bank. We continue to make local decisions that benefit our communities. Experience innovative products and excellent customer service. When you need us most, you can count on KNB. Our community, your bank. Kingston National Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Our final segment of the Cavalier Coach's Corner with Coach Doug Pryor, and we welcome back Cavalier Tom McClaskey as well, as Cavaliers get ready for the Centennial Stars. They've never played Centennial before. In fact, Coach, your clock over here, your countdown clock, looks like you've made a Centennial. It's handmade.
Definitely.
We'll have to get a shot of that maybe.
You have to credit that to Coach Chris Camps. You know, he said, Coach, we didn't have a Centennial sign, but I made one. So we're ready to go.
The Stars come again from the City League.
Yes, sir.
You've run into Mifflin already. Now
Yes.
Centennial comes to Chillicothe for their first ever trip. That being said, as we've learned from Coaches Little and Johnson, we've got a situation where you've got speed. You're going to be facing speed, and you question a quarterback too.
Right. You know, they lost their starting quarterback in the first game against Grandview Heights. Went out around middle of the third quarter, I believe it was. And that really changed the complexion of the game for them, because I really feel like they would be sitting most likely at 3-0 as opposed to 2-1 right now. We seem to think that, you know, through rumors and such, we can't get anything confirmed, but and we really haven't tried to, but we seem to think that he'll probably be back for us. And he's a thrower rather than a runner. He can run. He's athletic. He scored a rushing touchdown against Grandview Heights before he left the game. And, you know, I believe he had an injury to his non-throwing shoulder. And so left that game. Since then, they've worked primarily one quarterback who also plays inside linebacker for them, who is, you know, has really improved in throwing the ball from going from that Grandview Heights game to their third game against Columbus Afrocentric.
It sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it was really, I mean, I can't imagine, you know, throwing somebody in with a quarter and a half left. You know, it was tough enough trying to go through the progressions with a new QB going into the third series, or, you know, in the middle of the second series. And so, you know, that was that leaves the question, okay, who are you preparing for? Mm-hmm. Either way it goes, they're going to be skilled. You know, Coach Johnson, I believe, mentioned earlier, they have, you know, 2 or 3 tailbacks that, you know, that if you don't stay in front of them, they can take it to the house. One tailback is more of your traditional tailback, to where he's a little bit of the bell cow tailback for them. You know, he'll carry the ball probably the most, and the between the tackles guy. The other two are more like tailbacks / wide receivers, slot guys that, they'll take the jet sweeps, they'll take the toss sweeps out of the pro I formation. And so you've really got to stay on your game as far as make sure you fit into your gaps and everybody knows their assignments, because, one false move defensively and one of those guys could sail away on you. They have a big tight end as well that can move, does a great job catching the ball. And, and so they also have another wide receiver that is really, his strength is in the receiving game. Return to kickoff return against Grandview Heights. That really changed that game early on, because Grandview Heights, they scored first. I think it was the second series of the game. And right after that touchdown, Centennial ended up scoring on a kickoff return. And so that's a young man that we really have to keep our eye on in the passing game, and we got to keep the ball in his hands in the kicking game.
A challenge for every team is you've got athletes on the field for a reason.
Yes.
And what I'm getting to here is sometimes their instincts have to take over.
Yes.
But that can lead to overplaying and leaving your assignment and not being disciplined. So you have to keep all your mind wrapped around that and make sure that you contain in that respect.
Definitely. We've gone into really trying to make sure everyone plays their keys this week, and just kind of slowing things down a little bit as far as what your reads are, from our defensive backfield to our linebackers to our defensive linemen lining up in the proper positions, proper alignments, and because this is, if you play your assignment as you line up to their offense, you're already fitting in the proper gaps. It's just a matter, as you said, you can't overrun plays, you can't run past plays. You have to do your proper assignment, your alignment in your assignment. That's the key to playing great defense, and that's defense anywhere. Any coach will tell you that.
One of the longtime coaches here, and a good friend of mine, Bill Davidson, used to always say, the thing is, you're dealing with 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, and hoping that they will follow what you've taught them all week long.
Definitely. I mean, and that's where the repetitions come in, repping some of those same plays, and then if you don't get it right, whether it's offensively or defensively, we'll run that. Sometimes we run the same play 3 times in a row in practice, and then we'll come back to it another time or two, just so we can make sure that we have everything crisp and the kids are confident in their abilities. And so, that's a key factor, like with any team, is just repetition is the key.
This is week number, it's hard to believe, 4 already. And if I'm remembering the schedule correct, you've got 4 of your next 5 games are at home, right?
Yes. We're home the next couple weeks, and then we go on the road for our first conference game at Washington Courthouse. And so that'll be, our 3rd road game. And then I believe we come back home, I want to say, against, Greenfield,
McLean and Hillsborough.
McLean and Hillsborough, they're back-to-back.
Yeah.
And so, yes, definitely, we in the last couple of weeks we'll be on the road at Miami Trace and Jackson. So, I mean, the season we're hitting that mid-season stride right now. And, I also wanted to give, a shout out to, when you talk about the things that you can build on from last week, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Drew Seymour came back, played a great game at center for us after, sitting out the Mifflin game. And so, did a great job. And then as far as the passing, I gave the shout out to Coach Little sitting here. Coach Johnson's done a great job with the receivers. You mentioned him moving over to receivers this year. And that showed with Logan's touchdown. And we did a great job. I feel like we're improving every week with our pass blocking at the next level with our receivers. That's a big, since week 1, that's been a big focus of ours, is just improving that, our blocking on the perimeter and our blocking downfield with our receivers, and just, that effort that it takes to, that's what helps the run game. That's when, whoever's back there, tailback, whether it's Chucky or Cade or Ty Snetter, it's a tribute to the offensive line. It's also a tribute to the wide receivers and the H-backs.
Well, certainly to pick up a win at home is always good. You had a home win against Mifflin. Let's sweep what we have on the schedule of the City League.
Yes, sir.
And take care of the Centennial Stars this coming Friday night. Now, let me throw this. Coach isn't allowed to look ahead, but I will tell you that coming up on Thursday, September 26th, it's Thursday Night Lights here at Chillicothe High School. That'll be with the Logan Chieftains. And last year was a close game with that ball club. So, again, coaches and I look ahead, but we want to make sure that you're here to pack the house for Centennial, and then make sure you're packing the house, because a lot of people will be watching Who 53 to find out who's here with the Cavaliers and the Logan Chieftains. That again on September 26th. But first, we've got a Friday night here against the Centennial Stars. If you can't make it to the game for whatever reason, make sure you're listening to 1490 AM, 92.7 FM, WBEX.com, available on iHeartRadio as well. And I'll be with the Literate Media Game of the Week, which is Paint Valley at Adena this Friday night. And maybe we can get the Cavaliers back on again before the end of the season. All right, Coach, there's only one thing left to say, and that's
Go Cavs!